Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. And welcome to our 1990s Album of the Decade series, where we are going year by year, talking about what was big in music, picking our top 10 albums, narrowing it down to top 3, and those albums will go into the meat grinder, which is essentially a giant elimination style bracket where only one album will come out as the album of the decade. We're not like other channels. We're very cruel and mean to each other. So it's interesting. It's fun. I'm your host, Jason. With me actually on top tonight for some weird reason is the Wild Bill.
They're usually mean to me. Don't worry.
Well, you know, when you come with Shaggy, and we'll get to that. And then below me, we got we got Joe.
And it's real easy to be mean to Bill. It's just easy.
And at the very bottom in the Metallica shirt, we got Tim.
How's it going, everybody?
Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. You're all to the right of me.
Well, I got us stretched out. So today we're talking about 1995. If you missed the past year's coverage, check out the playlist link down below. Here's a quick recap that what has made it into the grinder so far. All of these will be in, this is insane to show because there's so many damn records. It's hard to put all these on the screen. There's a lot of good shit. There's a list down below, or go to our Discord. We got a list there.
Playlist channel. Just play the list.
Just play the list.
And never have to pick another playlist again.
And we currently, the ones that have got a buy, so they're going to skip round one, is Slayer, Sonic Youth Goo, Garth Brooks, Nevermind, Kerplunk, another Sonic Youth, Tori Amos, another Nirvana, Soundgarden, and a NoFX. We'll see if we get any buys this year. All right.
We got some options.
We got some options.
Yeah.
I think this year we actually have the most potential for a buy.
I've got two crossover with Tim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Foo Fighters is on there 3 times. I mean, Foo Fighters, Shaggy, whatever. We got Pumpkins on here a couple times. We got Rancid. We got Radiohead. We got some good shit.
Yeah.
Coolio.
No Use, Lagwagon.
So,
Ozzy.
Real quick, we got to go through our honorable mentions. It's very hard to narrow down to just 10 albums. Who wants to give their honorable mentions first? Got to make it quick and speedy.
All right, I can go first. I've got a handful here. So the President of the United States, self-titled.
Oh, wait, stop. I gotta give the Discord and the Facebook people shout outs because I asked them.
Oh.
Sorry. For our Discord member, we asked this question, what was their honorable mention or what was their top records, and Hannah said Aphex Twin, I care because you do. AFI's Answer That and Stay Fashionable. Anya's Memories of Trees. To follow that up, Sofa King Rad loves Anya as well. He also listed Bjork's Post, Liquid Swords,
That's a good one.
Genius the Far Side, Cabin, California. Trey listed Ham Fisted by Local H, Atari Teenage Riots, Delete Yourself, Presidents, that's what reminded me.
Yeah, I thought I saw that somewhere, yeah.
I'm an Elastic Firecracker by Trippin' Daisies. Rammstein's Hurt Slade. And he mentions The Far Side again. And the Saturday Morning Cartoons Greatest Hits, which was a banger. And he also mentioned Pocahontas soundtrack. And he said, "You're welcome, Bill."
Thank you, Trey.
How are you going to paint without all the colors of the wind?
Now, that's true. I mean, that's a true statement.
See, even our Discord members, our Patreon members pick on poor Bill.
Hey, I'll wear it. I'll wear that badge.
Come get your jabs in.
That's right.
All right.
Leave the jab in the comment. I'll read it. I'll reply to it. It's okay.
He will. That's our unstoppable chihuahua right there. Don't fuck with him. And our Facebook members, Joe S., Subliminal Plastic Motives by Self, PJ Harvey, To Bring You My Love, Tupac's Me Against the World, Boney, 1999 Eternal. Was that Bone Thugs? I don't know. Elliott Smith.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Elliott Smith, self-titled, and Michael, which I've mentioned on the show many times. It's my boy when I was in elementary school. Silverchair's Frog Stomp, Seven Mary Three's American Standard, Megadeth's Hidden Treasures.
Oh, yeah, that is a great one.
And Filter's Short Bus. We know Tim loves Filter.
Well, they're going to make my honorable mention indirectly. So,
really?
Well, I took off for any of them I had with our Facebook friends and everything, but some of those were on mine. Garth Brooks' Fresh Horses, Swinging Others, The Streets of San Francisco, No Fun at All, Out of Bounds, Goody Mob's Soul Food, Hot Water Music, The Passing, which is crazy because I'm not a huge Hot Water Music fan, but I enjoyed that one. Sonic, never mind, yeah, it's on yours, that's on yours. Goo Goo Dolls, A Boy Named Goo, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Red Hot Minute, Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, Tilt Oasis, All's Pummel, and Slater Kinney's Self-Titled.
All right. And then I'll take the ones you just listed off mine, some of them. I missed the Goo Goo Dolls, though. But I got...
Did you?
I did. Thurston Moore's solo record, Psychic Hearts. That Dog's Totally Crushed Out. Swingin' Utters. Well, you already said that one. Sonic Youth's Made in USA. I think that was a 2 for that year. Sludgeworth Losers of the Year. Screeching Weasels Killed the Musicians. The Riverdale Self-Titled. The Queers Move Back Home. Good Riddance for God and Country. Pennywise About Time, which is probably one of my favorite Pennywise records. No Effects' I Heard They Suck Live. Mudhoney's My Brother the Cow. Marilyn Manson's Sweet Smells Like Children. Letters to Cleo, Wholesale Meats and Fish. You said Alanis. Holes Ask For It EP. Garbage's Self-Titled. And then the ones I actually own.
That's a good one.
Pinhead Gunpowder, Carried a Banner. The Deftones Adrenaline, which I recommend getting this on vinyl. It sounds fantastic. The Misfits Collection 2. Soul Asylum. I told you, Trey, I got some Soul Asylum on vinyl. Let Your Dim Light Shine. Come on, you got that Misery. And Tilt's Playcell. That's my honorable mentions.
Should I jump in next then? Is that how we're doing this?
Sure.
Yeah, you should.
I mean, everything else from 1995.
I mean, I got a bunch here, so I'm going to try to shoot through them.
I'll go let the dog out.
And I'm going to start off, speaking of Filter, we got to mention the Demon Knight soundtrack. That thing was awesome. I do have that on vinyl. I don't have my vinyl with me, though, at the moment. That's coming back soon. And then quickly here, we got to mention the Jerky Boys. They put out the soundtrack to their movie in 1995. Fu Manchu put out Daredevil.
Fu Manchu. I
PJ
haven't heard that name in forever.
Yeah, right. PJ Harvey was mentioned. That's what made my list. No one's mentioned Mad Season's album Above yet. And that's like, I feel like that is almost a grinder album, but it's interesting that it didn't make anybody's top 10. And it's here on the honorable mentions. But that's a fantastic album. That's on the list. The Tank Girl soundtrack came out in 1995. Ooh. That was a good one. Let's see here. Hums, You'd Prefer an Astronaut. That was a fun album.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Stinks.
Deicide put out Once Upon the Cross. That's a fun album. Clutch put out their first self-titled album. The Bad Brains put out God of Love. Babes in Toyland put out Nemesisters. Love that album. The Beastie Boys actually have 2 releases this year. They put out 2 EPs. The first one I'm going to mention is the Root Down EP, which is fantastic. A lot of cool live stuff and B-sides. And then the other one I want to mention is the Aglio e Olio EP, which it was 12 minutes of just punk rock bangers. Loved that EP. That's on the list. Pink Floyd put out their live album Pulse. That's a fun video and live album. We're going to get to Pink Floyd eventually here. I know it. And another band we're going to get to eventually, Black Sabbath, put out Forbidden. Stay tuned for that one, but I'm going to honorably mention it. Ugly Kid Joe put out an album that nobody remembers called Menace to Sobriety. That was a fun album. The Circle Jerks put out Oddities, Abnormalities, and Curiosities, which does have Debbie Gibson on there. That's on the list. We got to mention the Ramones, right? Adios Amigos came out in 1995. A fantastic album. Go back and check out our video for that. Shout out to Chris and Sabretooth. I got to mention the Mortal Kombat soundtrack came out in 1995. Everybody should check that one out. It's a fun one. 6 Feet Under. I know they're a controversial band we might get to eventually. They put out their debut, Haunted. I was definitely enjoying that in 95. As well as Cathedrals, The Carnival Bazaar. That's a great album. Iron Maiden put out The X Factor. We'll get to that band too, I'm sure. But yeah, that came out in 95. That's on the list. Going through the research, I actually haven't heard this album, but this one's going to be on my list. Jazz Coleman from Killing Joke, and it's produced by Youth from Killing Joke, do a symphonic Pink Floyd cover album. I'm interested in that. I want to hear that. So got to shout that out.
Interesting.
One I definitely listened to a whole bunch in 95 and was surprised it didn't make my top 10. Anthrax put out Stomp 442. That was a big album for me back then. And then we talked about Aglio. Nobody mentioned that the Beatles put out the Anthology Part 1 in 1995 with Free as a Bird and Real Love, which
I thought that was 94 for some reason.
According to the internet, the album, maybe the video came out in 94, but the album came out in 95. Okay. According to the internet. We're going to shout it out again anyway. It's a fun collection.
Yes.
Melt Banana put out Scratch or Stitch. That's a fun album. And Napalm Death put out the Greed Killing EP. I liked that one a lot. Manor Astro Man, if anybody remembers that band, they put out their album Project Infinity. I like that album a lot. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my honorable mentions.
Oh, I missed one. The Angus soundtrack as well.
There you go. Yeah, that was a fun movie.
JAR.
JAR. All right, Bill, what did we miss?
No, I think you guys basically hit everything. I mean, Tim kind of hit on the last ones I was mentioning. Tim, thank you for mentioning Anthrax, Great album.
Ooh, I love that album.
Just want to point out, as Joe mentioned, Garth Brooks released an album this year, Fresh Horses. It didn't make my top 10 list. Was definitely an honorable mention, though. One of the first ones off, but
it's too
Jason,
late.
Don't worry. All the Garth Brooks albums are not going to be on my top 10.
No, it's too late. Well, we told you. You put one more Garth Brooks on there, Operation Kick Out Country is going full effect, and you did in '93. You put a Garth Brooks, so we can't stop. We can't stop what happens from here on out.
Country full effect.
Operation Cock is in full effect.
That's right.
You'll see the seeds of its fruition here in 1995.
Hey, Operation Come, man.
Operation Come. Kick out metal.
Wouldn't that be Operation Calm?
Yeah, that would be calm.
No, it's pronounced Come.
Yeah, it's pronounced Come.
Oh, it's got umlauts because it's metal.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have Operation Come without Operation Cock. So
that's right.
All right,
it's Scandinavian, Tim. Scandinavian.
We're gonna.
Well, that's coming in a couple years, really.
We're gonna let Joe start us off.
Hey, I get to start.
And you're gonna start us with No Use.
I love No Use for a Name. They're amazing. This is one of the albums I listened to. It was kind of my third album I listened to from No Use for a Name. Going there, which is weird, but maybe it was the second. No, it was the third, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I went back to this one. I love this album, Justified Black Eye. Redemption Song is fun. Straight from the Jacket, Wood, Alone, Couch Boy. Just Tony Sly's great. I love this album.
I can't remember. Was it you, Tim, that hated the Redemption Song cover, or was it Colquitt?
Yeah, I don't remember. Honestly, I have not. You know how this show goes. There's a lot of homework, and there's a lot of stuff
yeah.
I'd love to go back and check out again and see if my opinion even still holds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're just cramming.
I don't
each
even
week.
remember though.
I am the first to tell you that I am generally against like cover songs, and they had very specific. I don't know. It has to be a very specific thing. I believe I didn't. I've never said I disliked this one because I'm pretty sure I like the Redemption Song one. I may have in the past disliked it, so don't hold me to that. But I enjoy Redemption Song.
Roll the clip.
Yeah. Well,
he
Right.
wasn't there. He wasn't there. So
After these messages,
That's right. Was I not here for No Use?
no.
No, I did Lag Wagon. That's right.
Yeah, you did lag.
No Use was a fun one. I think
Good, there's
Cowboy
no
was here
round
for
table.
that one, right?
Cowboy was here, and if you haven't watched the No Use for a Name, Is It Art
Is
video?
It Art is one of our best episodes.
It's one of our best episodes ever, and
Yeah.
because of this album cover
Greatest
right
hits.
I am not. Then I'm not sure. I'm sure everyone heard.
I remember the
How
riddle.
I got into punk.
here, yeah, it was No Use for a Name and me,
Uh-huh.
but it
More
was not this
bitterness.
record.
No, it's more betterness.
Yeah, that's for '99. We'll get there.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's on my list too. I fucking love this record. Rest in peace, Tony Sly.
Mhm.
But I ain't gonna spend much time talking about it because just go watch our No Use record rankings.
Yeah, it's great. If you like No Use for Name whatsoever and you haven't heard this one, you're crazy. If you don't like No Use,
Oh,
come listen to this
man.
out.
We're not backwards on this one. That's gonna
Let's
mess
say we
me
got
up.
started at number 1.
Yep.
It's all right. I
Shoot.
believe in you, Jason.
That's gonna get harder and harder to do as the night goes on.
Don't worry. We'll just keep reminding you.
Well, I'm sure you will. You love to call out when I misspell something or fuck up.
That's what I'm here for,
That's
man.
what you're here for. Sanity check. All right, Tim, tell us about some Grip Incorporated.
Grip Inc. or Grip Incorporated, call it whatever you want, was Dave Lombardo's first project after leaving Slayer in 92. And so being a drummer and loving Slayer, I, of course, wanted to hear what Dave Lombardo was doing. He's still as, one of the greatest drummers alive. And this album is produced fantastic. The guitar tone is impeccable. They didn't quite make it into the mainstream because everybody said their vocalist was too punk for metal. Whatever. Who cares in 95, right? It's all just awesome, like kick ass, really well produced, really interesting songwriting. And it's got Dave Lombardo. What more do you need? Just absolutely I was certainly listening to this in 95. I still go back to this album often. The song Ostracized off of it actually had a video. If you guys remember Rock Video Monthly back in 95, they'd mail you a VHS video of 10 videos in the mail, and you'd get a VHS tape every month. And I had one, it had the Ostracized video and another video that we'll talk about later in the list. And I still have the VHS. That thing changed my life. And Ostracized, awesome song, great video. You can find that still. Love this album. It's definitely heavy metal. There's also some Latin flavor. It also kind of Valdemar, I never can pronounce his last name, Sarithia is the guitar player, and he went on to produce a lot of like black metal and a lot of pop metal too. I think he produced like In Flames and Evanescence and a couple other bands. Fantastic band. I can't talk about this album enough. You got to hear it. It's great.
Now, Bill, a VHS used to go into a VCR.
That's
Hey,
right.
as young as I am, dude, I grew up with all the VHS tapes. I mean that's how I knew all about all the different
Birds and
classic
the Bees?
Disney
Come on.
ones.
So it's
No, not the
definitely
Birds and the Bees.
it's definitely metal. So you're gonna have to watch out for Operation Come on that one, Tim.
That's okay. We'll see if it even makes the grinder.
Tim, I have never heard of Rock Music Video Monthly or whatever. That's wild.
Give me a couple weeks. Next time you're on for 96, I have a box full of them still.
That's crazy.
It was like it was the same principle as like you could order from Columbia House or BMG, you get 12 CDs for a penny or whatever.
Huh.
Well, this was the thing where you could sign up and you pick a genre. You could pick hip hop, you could pick pop, you could pick alternative rock, you could pick heavy metal. And the band I was in at the time, we all signed up and we all just like ended up with a different genre. And band practice, we would just watch these videos, and we found so many bands that way. It was awesome. Yeah,
that's badass.
All right. You've stalled long enough. We got to get this. We got to rip this
you
Band-Aid
just left
off.
it on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Shania Twain, at this point married to one of the greatest arguable producers of all time, Mutt Lange, at the time this
Shout
album
out.
came out.
Go watch our Def Leppard videos.
Yep. Tim has a wonderful disclaimer describing exactly how we view Mutt Lange.
It could have been more concise. That's an
It's still-
ever-evolving, theory.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
I mean,
accurate, though. It hasn't been
and
debunked.
And it's the thing. Here's one piece of that, and Shania Twain's "The Woman in Me." I mean, so 95. Obviously, I'm still not born yet. We're getting there. Eventually, I'm gonna be
I love
born.
that little sigh
Eventually.
after he
Yeah,
said
you can't be using that excuse forever, Bill.
Hey, we're gonna be getting close. I'm not gonna be able to use it anymore.
When we cover the 70s, it'll be like, well, I wasn't born yet.
I think everybody's going to have that one, right?
That being
We're
said,
all
though,
completely objective.
Mhm.
that
CCR for
being
life.
said, with this, I mean, Shania Twain definitely was still persisting into, the country music I was listening to growing up. I mean, you'd hear Garth Brooks, then you'd hear Shania Twain. Like, that's about how she rolled.
This album's a
Um,
banger.
Yeah. But, I definitely
Songs
agree.
2 through 7 are just amazing. Like, it's just like hit after hit after hit after hit. And then once we get to the later ones, I forget because it's been a while since I listened to this.
So 8 through 10 are all, I would argue, deep cuts for her.
I didn't like the opening track, but 2 through 7, killer.
For Shania Twain opening tracks, that one is definitely on the lower end, I would argue, which is interesting because usually Mutt Lange's able to get a really good one for that first opening track.
Joe,
But
if this makes our list of artists to do, you got to come back for it.
What, Shania?
Yep.
I'll teach you how to run the recording software.
I mean, no, it does say Joel. 2 through 7 they are really damn good songs, and I would argue as a album as a whole, this is a really damn good album. I mean, obviously, Joe and Tim are adverse to country, which is more than understandable.
You lost somebody out there.
It's okay.
I'm not adverse to it. I just don't like crap.
Yeah, adverse isn't the right word.
Yeah. We could throw down on some country.
I mean, this one is a crossover, because even I know songs off this. Doesn't mean I like any of it, but I at least know of it. This ain't no Tractors or John Anderson. I remember Any Man of Mine. And
Shout out John Anderson.
shout out John.
Shout out John Anderson.
I'm not shouting out John Anderson.
He might get some votes in the grinder
But
just
you
because
just
he's there.
did.
He might get some votes just because he's in there.
Yeah, overall,
The Grinder is going to be a fun series of shows.
yeah, that's it. Great album, great songs. I mean, if I had to say my low point, honestly, I'd probably agree with Joe. It's gonna be that opening track, honestly. High points, throw a dart at 2 through 7, and that works for me.
Okay, well.
It might be.
goes at number 1.
It might be who's been or have your boots been under it. That might be the
2
best.
through 7 out of a 12-track album.
For the highlight. I said for the highlight.
Okay.
I like 8 through 12 just as much. It's just 2 through 7 is my highlight. One of those just.
That's when it
All
just
those
hits
songs are the
you and
highlight.
you just can't get enough.
Nope.
All right, well, I'm going to put Blink-182 on here. because for some reason Joe likes to put the inferior demos in his top 10 and just not put the better version of the same album. But we talked a little bit about Cheshire Cat last 94.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a hell of a debut record. I mean, the humor's there. It's Blink-182. You know what you're going to get, you know.
Which is sad because nobody else catches on for another 7 years?
Yeah.
4 years?
Yeah, 99 I think was the big one.
Yeah.
So
Was it 99? Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, Enema of the State was 99.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't get into them on this record. It's the next one that I found them, but I definitely went back to this one. I mean, the closing track is about wearing diapers. You can't go wrong with that. You got Bimwall Balls. You got Carousel. You got Peggy Sue?
Yeah, is Peggy Sue a cover?
No, I don't think so.
It's
Is
not
it?
the Buddy Holly song?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it is,
Okay.
but it could be.
I bet you it is, even if it's not.
No, I don't probably know the lyrics, but I don't think it is. I think it's.
I haven't heard this album, so I don't know.
I can't remember. It's been a while.
Oh, you hadn't heard this one? This one's good.
No, I never got on that train.
I'm using my.
When we do we'll get to Blink. We'll rank them. I mean, this isn't their best, but it's better than
But it's good
a
enough
lot of.
for 95.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than No Doubt.
This was written by Tom Mark and Scott Rayner.
That's the drummer. Yeah, so this was original. TV's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Solid record all the way through. It's not 2 through 7 bangers. It's all bangers. My top 10, all bangers all the way through.
I mean, you do have Foo Fighters stuff titled on there.
You goddamn right I do.
It ain't all bangers all the way through.
You goddamn right it is. You got it on yours.
I know. That's why I'm telling you. I know it's not bangers all the way through.
Oh, where the fuck did I rank it, though? That's the question.
Is it better than No Use for a Name?
Fuck, no, it's not better than Tony.
Thank God. I was like, well, we got to restore some sense in here.
Fuck, no, it ain't better than Tony.
Restore some sense. We haven't lost sense yet.
Well, you never had it. You can't lose something you didn't have. I mean, it's better than Blink-182's Buddha.
That's a valid point.
It is better than Buddha.
95 was just a tougher year for you, huh?
It was. It's great. And because I thought about putting it on there, I was like, "Ooh, I might just put this on here."
I had to show it some love, you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to advertise it now. Now I got a whole new Facebook group. I can advertise this.
There you go. Join the Facebook group. That was tough for me to say.
Tim
yeah.
is next.
Yeah. What do I got next?
Oh, God.
Ooh.
I mean, America slept on this album. It did not do well in the charts, even though it's on a major label, even though they were already huge rock stars at this point, and even though this is arguably their greatest album. The variety on this album, the production on this album, the songwriting, the performances. There used to be a story in the early days of the internet back in the 20th century when this album came out. Shout out Caca Volante. But a kid in Australia took this album to his vocal teacher, and the vocals teacher response was, "I don't know how that man still has a voice." And if you know anything about Mike Patton, you know that this is just the beginning. I mean, every song, you've got country, you've got funk, you've got disco, you've got metal, you've got punk, you've got, shout out to Rock Video Monthly, the same video as Ostracized by Grip Inc., and the video for Dig in the Grave from this album. Amazing little punk rock song. I love Mike Patton. I love Faith No More. Go back and check out those videos. This would be a band we'd bring back for Bill, because they're just that good.
Yeah, we did do this one in the old format, so we could technically
Yeah.
redo Faith No More.
Add some bonus tracks. The bonus tracks from this album cycle, they cover everybody from G.G. Allen to Engelbert Humperdinck. It's beautiful.
That's a name right there.
Yeah, right? There's a discography we should do. We should do some Engelbert Humperdinck. And
I'm
some
sure that-
G.G. Allen. Why not?
That'll get fire. That'll get some fire up in that algorithm right there.
That's right.
Just taking off
Um,
like a rocket.
No,
to rock.
this album it's an absolute masterpiece. I still listen to it almost 30 years later. This is still like a weekly album for me.
Go
I
check
listen to this
out
all the
our.
time.
We've talked this record before. You watch three guys just fawn over this thing, and one newbie say, "Well, that was pretty fucking good." So,
Yeah. Have you gone back to this one, Jason?
No, I haven't gone back to any Faith No More. I've gone back to some Bungle.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about them here shortly too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about them real shortly here. Is it better than Grip? I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Fucking
say yes.
ask that question.
Yeah. Fantastic album.
Hashtag patent bias.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. One of the greatest discographies, not only of the 90s, but of the 21st century.
Well, let's see what old Wild Bill's got up his sleeve.
Uh-oh.
I don't even
Shania
remember.
Twain put out a second album.
Yeah.
Oh, same thing that Joe has up his sleeve.
That's
Is it,
right.
is it Joe's next one?
Yes, it should be.
All right, good.
Yeah. Well,
We
here
got
we go. Twofer.
We got a
Yeah.
twofer.
Oh man, Radiohead the Bends. Where do we start?
I do like that title song. I'll start you guys off because all I've really got to say, because I've really only heard the title song, and that's a cool song. I do like it.
You haven't heard "Don't Leave Me High"?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Don't
You never heard
leave
Iron
me
Lung?
dry.
Not to my knowledge.
Oh.
It's been a long time since I checked out the album, but I do remember the title track. That's on the playlist.
Okay.
Bulletproof's the top song.
Let's say so. Yeah, I mean, Planet Telex to Street Spirit. I mean, this is. I don't think there's a bad song on this album. I mean, Joe, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Like, Iron Lung for me is probably the highest point. That's the one I like the most, honestly.
I'll have to go back to it.
I mean, High and Dry and Fake Plastic Trees. I also like both of those. I mean, the only thing that, the worst song maybe for me is Salt, but even that is a pretty goddamn high low point.
I have never been a Radiohead person. I haven't listened to a lot of like Radiohead albums on their own because the people who listen to Radiohead like tried to cram Radiohead down your throat. They're like Radiohead,
Yes, they
Radiohead,
do.
Radiohead.
I like them Tool
you-
people.
Yeah, and you would hear like random
Yeah,
Radiohead songs.
yeah.
And you're like, what is this? I mean, this is.
This is proto hipster. This is proto hipster, or is this full on hipster at this point?
It might be proto.
Yeah, you could be my So doing my due diligence, I was like, all right, Radiohead the Bends came out. I need to at least put the album on and say I gave it the old college try.
Sure.
So I put this album on and I was like, holy shit, this is great. This is a good album. And I just sat there and kept listening to it. And I was like, well, maybe it's, a couple good songs on here. And it, there's a couple good songs.
Maybe
on
it
pretty much
fades
every
out or
album.
whatever. Yeah.
I just kept listening to it. And I was like, I think this is one of my top 10 albums of 95. So crazily enough, here it is. And I'm kind of like Bill. I don't really necessarily find a song that I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Once you get around that Sulk era area, maybe he starts to sound a little sameish as some of his.
But even so, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Though.
It's good. I really enjoyed it. Fake Plastic Trees, Planet Telex, The Bends, Iron Lung, Street Spirit. I mean, they're all great.
Yeah. It's not my favorite.
This is my surprise.
It's not my favorite Radiohead, but it's a top 3 Radiohead. I'm more of an OK Computer kind of guy. This one is more concise, though, whereas OK Computer kind of drags on. This one's more like In Rainbows. It's more concise.
Which was the crazy ass one that people went wild for while
Kid
you
A.
and I were hanging out?
Kid A. Fuck Kid A.
Yeah, that'd be the one that they suckered me on.
Oh man, I could tell you where I was when that album came out. Same day as Green Day's Warning.
Oh,
Same
the
night.
better album that day. Better album.
Well, both of us were like, "What the fuck is Radiohead doing? What the fuck is Green Day doing?" It was a weird. It was a weird
What
night.
is going on?
What are we doing?
It's like, this is the 2000s, okay.
I love that Green Day.
Two of my albums came
Oh, I
out
do
on the
too,
same day
but it
as
was
well, so.
it was a
different.
jarring
Yeah.
coming from. Well, is it better than No Use for a Name?
No, it is not.
Is it better than Shania Twain?
It is better than Shania Twain.
So therefore, No Use for a Name is better than Shania Twain.
Yes.
That's
By proxy.
Yeah,
that's-
100%.
I think that's factual.
That's mathematically correct.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
As of now.
using that logic, I mean, going back to last year, Black Hawk is better than Green Day as a whole, which I don't think that's true.
I don't
No.
know. I'd have to listen to Black Hawk, but maybe.
What do you mean? Wasn't Green Day like one of my top albums?
It was.
Yeah,
He's just trying to shoehorn in some
I was
bullshit.
like, I don't know
from-
how that.
Don't even pay no attention to that. Just ignore him. All right, Tim, you get to go
Wow.
again.
Ooh, the Dopes to Infinity. So this was my introduction to Monster Magnet. I know they have a bigger hit coming up later that a lot of people really got into, but I saw the video for Negasonic Teenage Warhead on. It was either 120 Minutes or Headbangers Ball. It was one of those videos that would cross over, and loved it. And then doing the research here, it looks like Gore Verbinski directed the video. So shout out. And then I don't know, like Marvel named the character after the song Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
I was just about to say, isn't that a Marvel character?
They named it after this song. You know, we've been talking about Caius in this series of best albums of the decade, you know, and we're going to talk about it again this year. But Caius and Monster Magnet are both really pillars of the whole desert, stoner, doom rock, psychedelia that's going to really inform what I'm listening to in the next decade. And I was introduced to this stuff back in 95, 94. And this is an album I still listen to all the time. The title track is, oh man, I love the title track. The theme from Masterburner, love that song. Ego, the Living Planet is great. King of Mars. I mean, this album will take you exactly where that cover is, and you'll enjoy every moment of it.
I don't know
love
this
this
one.
album.
I know that one song that came out and it sucked and I hated it.
This is much more in line of the grunge of 93, 94, but also there's a 60s Nuggets, garage rock, Stooges, punk rock, Ramones attitude to it all that just works for me. I love this band. I hope we do this band on the show at one point.
I mean,
it's a big discography.
As much as you speak about it, I'm curious to check them out because the only thing I know about them, I hated.
Yeah, and that's their most like popular song. But a lot of really cool stuff. They're out of New Jersey, same town as Kevin Smith.
Album art.
Yeah, I don't know. I really
art.
like this band. I'd say this is a fan for stoner, doom, early grunge, 60s psychedelia. If you like Hendrix, you're gonna love this. If you like Sabbath, you're gonna love this. If you like the Stooges, you're gonna love this. If you like Fu Manchu, one of my honorable mentions. Caius coming up. Yeah, this is like a genre pillar of an album that is obviously got to be on the list for 1995 because I still listen to this all the time. It's a great album.
I definitely want to. I want to cover them just so we can do an Is It Art.
Yeah, I wonder if
it's gonna be a real fun one.
I wonder about Marvel because obviously they named the Ego the Living Planet was a old Marvel
Also,
person.
yeah.
So I wonder if they saw the Ego the Living Planet and they're like, oh, let's name a.
Well, and it's also part of that rock and roll niche where it's all just sex, drugs, comic books, rock and roll, and
Comic books is the
blowing
forgotten
shit up.
part of that.
Yeah. It's a Marvel album in scope for your ears. It's an amazing album. And in fact, I'm going to say it's better than the Grip Inc. album.
All right.
Highly recommend that one.
Let's see, Bill, what you got?
White Zombie.
I'll start you off on this one too. This was my first vinyl I ever got. I still have it. I'll show it at a later date, maybe when we get to the discography. I'm underprepared tonight, but
Not
I have
my
this
first
on
vinyl, but I do have it on vinyl.
This was my first. I have an original press on blue vinyl.
I think mine's just black.
Interesting.
Yeah, mine's just black.
Well, I'll say I first got into White Zombie or Rob Zombie actually off of More Human Than Human. Obviously, that was a really big song that came out off of this album.
Shout out to the Sam Haines shirt he wore in the video.
Mine's like a smoke.
Oh, nice. Oh. Yeah, mine's blue. I'll bust it out here soon.
But so I was like, all right, White Zombie put out an album in 95. Let's see what that album had on it. Just so this was the first time.
And I will say, Sean is one of the coolest people I've ever met. She was super nice, and I've met her a couple times. So.
Oh man, I
super
love
cool
Sean.
person.
I love
Sean is awesome. Like, Rob should just give all the rights to this stuff to her. Yep. Let her do whatever she wants with it. Yeah, Sean is rad as hell.
And Jay's pretty cool too.
Yeah, he actually. So I mentioned Fu Manchu's Daredevil, and their next album, the next album is actually going to be produced by Jay. And this is the debut of Mike Tempesta on drums, who of course is like a master drummer in the business right now, and has been for decades. Real cool dude.
This was this was the beginning of the end of White Zombie, but
yeah, well, this is the end of White Zombie.
This was the end, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean musically though,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it wasn't as good as the last one.
No, it's not. Yeah, we'll get to White Zombie. It's gonna be my Halloween pick next year. But
yeah, that'll be a fun one.
This is a very fun record to just throw on. I mean, Grease Paint, iZombie's great, Supercharger,
Electric Head.
I remember 7 and Below. Like, for some reason, I don't know why I don't remember the beginning of this album, but I remember like iZombie, More Human Human, and El Phantasmo, and the Chicken Run Blast.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, I remember all those for some reason. But
I like how they have Part 1, Electric Head Part 1, The Agony, and then Electric Head Part 2, The Ecstasy.
The Ecstasy.
It's good to have that.
And they both rip.
That was it, Bill. That was it when I made the.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I couldn't remember which album it was.
That's okay. You don't need to know. You don't need to remember.
It's nice to have consistency.
Go back and watch that video.
Go back and watch our Nickelback review.
Yep. Anyways.
So yeah, more Human Than Human.
Yep. So that's how I got introduced to White Zombie. Which isn't a bad place at all to get started on them, in my opinion.
No, not
and actually, so I listened through, and I mean, definitely a solid album for 95. That's why I made my top 10. Wasn't a super huge fan of some of the ones. Like Real Solution number 9 for me was kind of a low point. But I would say the highs. I mean, Joe kind of mentioned the second half. Like the second half of this album, I thought was really damn good. and I felt that made up for
I
it.
always liked the first side.
Yeah,
more,
I like the first
honestly.
side more.
Yeah, I feel it kind of drops off there towards the end. It's not
Interesting.
bad, but it kind of drops off.
Yeah, and I can't tell you that I like it more. That's the only part I don't remember the first half like at all.
Gotcha.
And I've listened to
Well-
it recently to like try to see if it's in the list, and it's still like I don't know what it is. Maybe there's a traumatic experience sometime in '95.
Well, we
where
will
I
get
learned-
into that on those episodes because that is a conversation.
Oh, I mean, it's probably not YouTube worthy or allowed, but I almost died listening to this record. It wasn't 95, it was like 97. Nick Burtonelli. Shout out Nick. But we almost died listening to this album.
Yeah, this was
was
my
a
first
solid-
vinyl. I bought it at the
was-
Bay Sound.
Shout out Bass Sound, Steve.
Yep.
Where you
Yep.
at?
Speaking of Burt and Ollie's.
Yeah, speaking of Burtonelli's. It's a fun record, though. It is a fun record.
Yeah, it is.
I was glad to see
Absolutely.
it in somebody's list.
Yep.
I had it in my honorable mentions, but then I took it off because I saw somebody had it.
Same.
All right, is it better than Shania?
It is gonna go below Shania.
It makes sense to me.
If you say so. That's Operation Come kicking in there right there, Tim. You see that?
I
You see
believe
that?
so. Shots fired.
Shots
I
fired.
think that Shania album is a good album.
I
I'm gonna
think the Shania is better. I don't know. Like,
Sean over Shania. Hashtag Sean over Shania.
lie.
All right. What's Joe got?
What do I have? Big money, no whammies.
You got a whammy.
I got big money right there. I just didn't realize this was my next one. Okay. So you may at some point have watched our Everclear video. If not, please go do so. Because it's a fun video.
It's a fun
I
one.
love early Everclear. I'm a stand for some early Everclear. As you've probably seen with the album that I actually put in last year that I probably shouldn't have. My mulligan should have gone there. But this is not a mulligan. Everclear Sparkling Fade is one of my favorite Everclear albums. It's amazing. I love all these songs. Electra Make Me Blind, Heroin Girl, You Make Me Feel Like a Whore. Santa Monica is actually one of my least favorite songs off the album. It's good. It just got overplayed. I mean, it became like a weird anthem for Everclear, and I was like, but the rest of these songs are better than that. Summerland, Strawberry, Art Spark, Dollar Sign is one of my favorite songs of all time for them. Just so good. All this is just a great album overall.
I concur. It is a damn good record. I mean, I'll back you up on this one. It's not my favorite Everclear, but it's a solid record. Solid record. There's a lot more to it than Santa Monica for sure.
Yeah. I forget Santa Monica's on here all the time because
He does get off that G chord and goes to the C chord on Heart Spark Dollar Sign. So
yeah.
there is a little bit of variance here.
Dun-dun. Dun-dun. Love that album. I listen to that album all the time.
It's a good one. That's one I'd get on vinyl.
It is going to go above Radiohead,
Wow.
and it is going to go above No Use for a Name.
Wow. Okay. Here we go.
Tony Sly, rest in peace, Tony.
That's right. I love you, Tony. If this was more betterness, it would never gone ahead of you there. But
All right, I got one more. I mean,
you got one more. Everyone but me has one more with it.
Yep, we got to pull in some tears.
ooh,
on
we all
this
get to
one.
talk.
Joe can just shut the fuck up now with his Everclear shit. There's a lot more than a G chord on this record.
Yeah, but just because there's a lot of G chord doesn't mean it's
Well,
bad
let me
G
ask
chord.
you this, Joe. At what point on this record did you say it wasn't a perfect album?
Ecstatic, Watershed, Exhausted, Floaty.
What?
You are
What?
fucking out of your
Floaty?
goddamn mind, man.
Is it Floaty or Good Grief that I was like, it's fine.
Either one.
Oh,
one of
God.
Listen,
Jesus.
I didn't put this album in my top 10, but like I like both Floaty and Good Grief. Goddamn.
One of those two.
I gotta side with Jason on this one. No low point. Go back and watch our Foo Fighters video where this is my favorite Foo Fighters album.
This is what I'm gonna tell you about this album. It's so good it made it to my top 10, and I am not a huge Foo Fighters person.
The
It's- it's a
B-sides
good
on this
enough
thing, too. Holy
The
shit.
B-sides on this thing are incredible.
I'm not listening to the B-sides.
Yeah.
This isn't my favorite Foo
Winnebago
Fighters
is still
record.
one of my favorite Foo Fighters songs. So good. Alone and Easy Target. I'll Stick Around. This Is a Call. Weenie Beanie.
Well, I do like
For All
Weenie
the
Beanie.
Cows.
For all the cows.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bro
George. Oh, George is
Yeah,
hands
I mean,
down my
come
favorite Foo
on.
Fighters song in the entire discography is Oh, George. I love that fucking song.
Watershed's awesome. Ecstatic. I love Ecstatic, which is that the one with Greg Dooley on it? Who's the only other person other than Dave Grohl on this album? He did it in a week by himself. This album's incredible.
Yeah, go watch our Foo Fighters video on this. We ain't gonna talk about it ad lib again. Ad lib. Everybody but Bill got it on here.
Some stuff is getting shoved out.
Go back and watch our Foo Fighters videos. Those were good ones. We even cover their latest album, but not The Scandal.
See, it's my third, so I don't have to kick anything out of the grinder for the part 2. But you guys got to make a choice.
Yeah, we do.
I don't.
I don't really have to make that much of a choice, but
Yeah, I know where mine's going.
Where's your going?
Mine's going slightly above Monster Magnet.
oh,
Grip is
No
out.
more grip.
Joe?
Fantastic album. If you love drums, if you love great guitar tones, and if you love just awesome heavy music, it's a great album.
You want me to go first?
yeah, you go first.
Or second,
Oh snap!
It's number 1 right now.
So direct your hate mail at me below. It's going to go behind the bins.
Oh,
Behind Radiohead?
oh my God!
wow, does it scratch it?
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I okay, I could see it, but that's still surprising.
Note, I don't really like Foo Fighters, and this album made it into my top 10.
But you don't like Radiohead either. You said it. You don't really like
That's true.
Radiohead.
Yeah,
You fucking hipster fuck.
we got more albums to come. We
It's
got
the
more albums to
haircut.
come.
All right. Well, stick around for part 2. We'll do the next set of we'll do another round of records, see what's going to make it in the grinder or what's going to get kicked out. Right now, Foo Fighters has a bye, and fucking Radiohead, for some stupid reason, has a bye. So,
Damn right it does.
oh, and no use
And
for a
if you've
name.
been paying a
And no use. The one that
along,
makes sense, no use for the moment.
there are 2 military operations going on in this video. Whose side are you on?
Are
Get
you on
rid of Foo
Operation
Fighters.
Cock or Operation Calm?
Shania Twain or White Zombie. Pick a side.
Pick a side. Hashtag Sean over Shania.
Right.
All right. Be safe. Make good decisions,
Please.
Listen to all these albums.
please. Yeah, they're all bangers. Well,
Please make good decisions. I just can't go on any further if you don't make good decisions.
don't make bad decisions like putting Radiohead above Foo Fighters.
That's a sound decision.
And then you go a little woo, and then a little whoop, 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 and then it's all, and then you're ready to go again.